English can sometimes feel like it was invented just to confuse students, and nothing proves that more than the trio of who, whom, and whose. These three words are all related to people, but they behave differently in sentences, and their history actually helps explain why. Long ago, English had a more complicated case system, like in Latin or German, which means words change depending on whether they were doing the action, receiving the action, or showing possession. Over time, most of these word forms disappeared, except for a few stubborn ones, like who, whom, and whose. That's why today they feel a little outdated, a little formal, and a little confusing. But once you understand their roles, they're actually easy to use. Who is the simplest? It is used for the subject or the person doing the action. Imagine pointing at someone and saying, "Who ate my snacks?" The person you're blaming is the subject, so who is correct? In older English, who acted like other subject pronouns such as he, she, or they. That's why it naturally fits the person doing the action in a sentence. Whom, on the other hand, is the object, or the person receiving the action. If someone asks, "Whom did you invite?" you're asking about the person affected by the action invite. In the past, whom matched the style of words like him and them, all object pronouns. That connection is your easiest trick. If you can replace the word with him or them, then whom is correct. For example, you invited him. Whom did you invite? This keeps the sentence grammatically correct, even if people rarely use whom casually. Finally, whose is the form that shows possession, someone owning or having something. It doesn't matter whether the owner is the subject or object. Whose simply answers the question, who does this belong to? For example, whose phone is ringing? Or I met a student whose project was amazing. The spelling may confuse students because it looks like it should have an apostrophe, but it never does. Historically, S to S for possession evolved differently from whose, so they don't follow the same rule. Even though people use whom less in everyday conversation, it still appears in writing, formal speeches, tests, and academic work. So, it's worth learning. The good news? Most people already use who and whose correctly without thinking. And if you ever get stuck between who and whom, just remember the quick trick. If he works, use who. If him works, use whom. This little shortcut has saved students for centuries. Understanding these three words is not just about sounding smart, it's about being clear. Each one helps link ideas in a sentence so readers can follow along without confusion. With a little practice, you'll start noticing them everywhere. In books, TV subtitles, songs, announcements, and even memes. So the next time someone asks you who's responsible for using whom incorrectly, you'll confidently know the answer. And maybe even flex a little grammar power.